Hi, I'm Tyler, and welcome to another episode of my Christian Music Week reviews. Each week I take 5 releases, LPs or singles, and after I listen to them all week, I come back here and I review them. I share what I think about them. So without further ado, let's get to this week's first release. 14 Countries, new single, For God Is With Us. For God Is With Us, the second single from 14 Countries' upcoming album. Let's dive into it. But before I do, let me just say this came across as a request from You Can't Have It. Thanks, You Can't Have It, for requesting this song and Raleigh Clemens' song For the Good that will appear a little later on in this video. Now let's dive into this song, For God's With Us. But before I do, the first single, Relate, I did not review it, but I went back and listened to it, and it's a pretty good song as well. Now let's dive into For God Is With Us. So, pretty good song here as well. Stylistically here, the verses can be kind of chill, but then kind of chill with the piano, synth, and bass. And violin enters in the second verse. But in the post-chorus, the synth and bass, and I think the violin joins this post-chorus in the second verse, after the second verse, to give this kind of burst that definitely turns up the energy in the track at that point. And as for the lyrics here, love the lyrics to this song. It talks about God's unbelievable love that started with Jesus, God with us, being born in Bethlehem and dying on a cross to give us a new beginning. Up next, Buffalo Music's new album, Homecoming. Buffalo Music's new album, Homecoming. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good album here. Instrumentally, we have bass guitar, electric guitar, piano, and drum as the main instruments, but we also have acoustic guitar, bass, and violin. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here. So the main theme of this album talks about how we were chained to spiritual death, but Jesus, through his death and suffering on the cross, and through his resurrection from the tomb, has given us spiritual life from death. Just as he raised Lazarus from physical death, so he has raised us from spiritual death. And Buffalo Music praises him for this on this album, to the point where, in return for him laying his life down for us, we are called to lay down our lives for him to go anywhere that he wants us to go. A few songs on this album also talk about, and this is a good theme too, talks about God doing miracles even when there doesn't seem like there's a way that he could. Up next, Raleigh Clemens' new single, For the Good. Alright, so now that I finished reviewing Buffalo's album, You Can't Have It, I'm gonna get to your other request, Raleigh Clemens' new single, For the Good. Thanks, You Can't Have It, for requesting this song as well. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good song here, stylistically. Definitely got a gospel feel for what we would expect from Raleigh Clemens. And instrumentally here, we have piano, bass guitar, bass, and drum. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here. She talks about how she puts her hope in only God to work the broken for the good of those who love him, including her, including us, who believe in Jesus. Up next, Jonathan Trailers new EP, I'm Here For You. Jonathan Trailers, new EP, I'm Here For You. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good EP here. Stylistically, the pop feel is what wins here, but definitely some worship influence as well. And as for the instrumentation here, we have piano, synth, bass, and acoustic guitar as dominant, but also drum and electric guitar at some points as well. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here. Jonathan talks about how he won't listen to anxieties and condemnations lies when God considers him a child welcome at his table. Also, too, Jonathan talks about how in the storm and the fire, he'll look to the God who is here for him and goes before him. Up next, our last release for today, Switch's new EP, Better View, Part 1. Switch's new EP, Better View, Part 1. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good EP here. Stylistically, definitely got a upbeat, even danceable at times pop feel. Perfection takes a little more of a softer pop worship feel, though. Instrumentally here, we have synth, piano, bass guitar, acoustic guitar, and as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here. Talks about how in the commotion, when we don't get what's going on, God in his real love gives us his better view that allows us to let go of control. And also, the EP talks about how when all we see are our flaws that make everybody else walk away, God is the good friend that stays with us. And because he's canceled and forgiven our past, when he looks at us, he sees perfection. Well, that's it for this week. Come back next week for 5 more releases. If you like what you saw in this video, please subscribe. We put out videos every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time. Also, if you have any thoughts on today's releases or what I said about them, let me know that in the comments below. Also in the comment section, you can let me know if there's any awesome releases that came out today that you want to see in next week's video. Also, check out the playlist section for my Music Muffin Dreams playlist, available here on YouTube and on Spotify. And I just put out a new edition today, featuring my most streamed songs from September, featuring songs from artists like Mike's Chair, Aaron Schust, and others. So go and check that out. Well, I'll go now. See you next week. Bye!